A major announcement has just been made. Sweeping pension cuts are coming to Australia from September 1st, 2025. Millions of retirees will see less money in their bank accounts. If you or someone you care about relies on the age pension, you need to hear this now, before it's too late. Stay with me, hit subscribe, and let's break down exactly what's changing, how it will impact you directly, and what steps you can take right now to protect yourself. Just hours ago, the government dropped a bombshell announcement that will impact every single pensioner in Australia starting September 1. The news is already sending shockwaves across the nation. For decades, older Australians have trusted that the age pension was stable, reliable, and protected from sudden cuts. That belief has been shattered. The government has now confirmed radical reforms to the pension system. Reforms officials claim are necessary for sustainability, but which retirees are calling devastating cuts that threaten some of our most vulnerable citizens. Think about this. You wake up one morning, check your pension payment, and discover that your income for food, rent, medication, and basic living expenses has been slashed. Not because you earned more, not because you won the lottery, but because the rules changed overnight. That's exactly what's coming for millions of Australians. If you're already retired, about to retire, or have parents, grandparents, or friends who depend on these payments, these changes will hit home. Today, we'll unpack everything: the new rules, who will be hardest hit, why the government insists these cuts are necessary, and what you must do now to prepare. This is urgent information. For many, it could mean the difference between financial security and serious hardship. What's changing? Income test changes. The biggest shift comes from deeming rates, the rates used to calculate how much income your assets earn on paper. Even if your investments are bringing in almost nothing, the government will assume they're earning far more, and that means your pension will be cut. Example, you've got a $30,000 term deposit or a small parcel of shares. In the past, you may have been unaffected, but from September 1st, the new deeming rates could push you over the threshold, reducing your pension by hundreds of dollars every fortnight. You won't suddenly be richer, but you'll be treated as though you are. Tighter asset test thresholds are being reduced. Seniors who own property, vehicles, or modest investments will lose more of their pension. Rising property values, completely beyond your control, could make you look wealthy on paper, even as you struggle to pay the bills. Changes to indexation. Traditionally, pensions have been adjusted twice a year to keep up with inflation and wages. That's changing. Under the new policy, payments may no longer keep pace with the true cost of living. That means every dollar will stretch less and less as time goes on, eroding your purchasing power against rising rents, medical bills, groceries, and utilities. Imagine opening your September pension statement and seeing your payment down by $100 or even $200 every fortnight. For a couple, the impact doubles. That's not just an inconvenience, it's a direct threat to your ability to cover essentials. The human impact charities are already preparing for a surge in calls from desperate seniors. Financial counsellors warn that many retirees will be forced to dip into savings much faster than planned, sell off assets or possessions, take on debt simply to survive. Pensioners are furious. Advocacy groups call this a betrayal of the social contract. After a lifetime of working, paying taxes, and contributing, older Australians expected dignity in retirement. Instead, they're being told they must sacrifice again. The government's justification officials argue these reforms are about sustainability. With Australians living longer and drawing pensions for more years, the budget is under strain. The government says without changes, the system will collapse. But critics push back. They argue that retirees are already battling ultra-low interest rates, slashing savings returns, skyrocketing costs of living, minimal pension increases over years. Middle-income seniors, the ones who saved carefully to avoid relying fully on welfare, are now the ones being punished. Why this matters beyond 2020. Younger Australians should pay close attention. If today's retirees, who were promised stability, can see their pensions cut so suddenly, what does that say about the future? Many fear this is the start of a long-term plan to phase out or severely restrict the age pension. History shows that once cuts begin, they rarely stop. What you must do now: get informed. Contact Centrelink immediately to see how these reforms affect you. Don't wait until your first reduced payment hits. Seek advice, speak to a trusted financial advisor, review your income, assets, and possible strategies to minimise the impact. Access support, apply for every rebate, concession, and subsidy you're eligible for. Energy rebates, transport discounts, health concessions. Get involved. Join pensioner advocacy groups, sign petitions, and raise your voice. Public pressure is the only way to slow or reverse these changes. Prepare your budget. Review household expenses and adjust now before September arrives. This is not a minor adjustment. It is a fundamental reworking of the age pension, and it could permanently change the way Australians think about retirement. If you've ever believed the pension was untouchable, this is your wake-up call. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't let September worst blindside you. We'll continue to update you with every new detail, so hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video widely. Your parents, grandparents, and neighbours need to hear this now, because this isn't just about money. It's about dignity, stability, and the promise of a fair retirement, a promise that is now under threat.